mentioned the younger generation. And again, another kind of INET thing is that really it's about the next generation of economists, in this case, is really going to reinvent the next systems. People who are, invested in their old paradigm of thinking and their old theories that they've been championing for decades are not going to be the ones that really rethink the next systems. Do you see a kind of a generational split? Do you see something about, let's say, Chinese in their early 30s, 20s, and even maybe less, as really, are you hopeful that in fact there's a real different mindset that's kind of evolving there, and the one that would be more knitted into the global economy and actually be more productive in terms of figuring out this next great economic paradigm of the planet?
I do think there's great differences between each generation, and one has to be very impressed with those generations that are moving up, 30, 40, 50-year-olds, many of whom have been trained abroad, some who haven't. And they do see things very differently, and they're much less ideological. However, I would say that they, and this would be a generalization, but I think a true one, are also more nationalistic. And they bristle at any criticism, anything that harkens back to what they view as the old paradigm of Western judgment, demanding that dissidents be let out of jail before a presidential visit, that kind of thing. They just don't accept it. And now they don't have to. And so it raises a real question for the United States. What do we do? Do we just say, oh, well, okay, lock people up, we won't say anything, it's too important that we get along with you on other matters? Or do we stick to our guns, and do we have cards to play in that realm? So the new generation, incredibly impressive, and I think in many ways negotiable as cosmopolitan actors on the world stage, and good business people, scholars, et cetera. But this nationalism is something which we're going to have to learn how to deal with, and which they're going to have to learn how to sort of, I think, modulate to be effective in the new kind of scheme of global leadership. But then the United States has had similar problems with sort of America first, these colors don't run, attitude, which is all too prevalent in this country as well.